So we know clear and concise writing is easier on our readers. We know concise is nice, right? And we feel more proud of our writing too when it's clear and concise. We feel like we wrote something easy to use, easy to read, that really conveys the meaning we intended and without the fluff. But the question is, how do we get there? How do we cut that fluff? And what do we do about all that editing time? Today we're going to talk about 3 quick hacks you can use to make your writing more clear and concise. And they are to start a sentence with who's doing something, front load that information. Secondly, to use visual verbs, visual meaningful verbs. And thirdly, to reduce using the to be verb, which is words like is, are, was, and were. Okay, so let's get to work. First of all, we want to start with who. We want to think about who's really doing something in this sentence and put them at the beginning. That accomplishes a couple things for us. First of all, it informs our readers sooner. We're front-loading meaning and information so that they don't have to wait for it. Secondly, by putting that doer, that who is really doing something in the front, that sentence structure naturally reduces fluff, so you don't have to go in and edit. It literally makes the little empty words like is, are, by, for, in, to disappear. Let's try an example. Imagine a decision has been made and we have a sentence that says the decision to hire the 3rd applicant was made by the committee. 12 words. It's not a horrible sentence, but who's really doing something here? Who's our true doer? Is it the decision that came in the beginning of the sentence? No, it's not. The decision didn't do anything. Who did something? The committee. Let's front load them. Let's put them in the front. Then we get the committee decided to hire the 3rd applicant. Notice how the little junky words have just fallen away. So number 1 was start with who. Okay, the remaining 2 hacks are both about verbs, and that comes as no surprise because you're probably hearing a lot about verbs in these videos. Verbs are the most powerful part of a sentence. Usually that's where we can provide information and tone at the same time. So let's think about how we can really leverage good verbs to make our writing more clear and concise. And so hack number 2 is to use verbs that provide a visual, verbs that provide meaning. For example, maybe I have been told in an email, your supervisor is interested in hearing your feedback. Well, that's nice that she cares about my feedback, but the verb there was kind of that phrase, is interested in. Takes up a few words, right? And it's not super informative either. How about if we change that to your supervisor welcomes your feedback, your supervisor wants your feedback, your supervisor requests your feedback. Those all have a different tone too, right? Some are more inviting than others, some are more conveying a sense of requirement than others, but all of them are more concise than the original. Okay, 3rd hack fits with the 2nd hack. So just as we want to use visual, meaningful verbs, there are also some verbs we want to avoid and reduce using if possible because they tend to bring fluff. And those are the to be verbs. Words like is, are, was, were, will be, has been, and many more. Those are often our default verb in a sentence, and that's just a habit we've picked up over the years, probably from some of the requirements in school. But at this point, that to be verb does not really convey information because, for example, can you imagine somebody ising? Not really. And because the is does not convey information, it only stands to reason that we then have to bring in more words to actually provide information. A couple quick examples. If we could talk about me and you, I could say Erin is a writing teacher. Erin is a writing teacher. And I described myself as is. And you don't learn too much, but we then added the words about writing teacher so you could learn them. Well, what if I did it right away? Erin teaches writing. Instead of is, I could have gone right to the verb that conveys meaning and that's visual and reduce that is and reduce that clutter. Now let's go to your side of things. You are interested in writing tips. You are interested in writing tips. There's a verb for that. You want writing tips. And that's a lot more concise way to write. So let's put it all together with one long, wordy sentence and see how these 3 hacks would help. Imagine a sentence where you've received perhaps an email or a letter, and it says, "This is to inform you that we are waiting on one more piece of documentation in order to complete your file." Kind of a long sentence, right? So let's see what we can do by just using these 3 hacks. Okay, who's doing something? Well, in that sentence, it's we. We are waiting on. Let's put that we in the front. Second hack, use a visual verb instead of are, right? Instead of are waiting on, maybe we could say want, maybe we could say need, maybe we could say require. And we can reduce the sentence in similar ways so that we end up with we need one more document to complete your file. Notice I've also reduced some of those side fluff. Instead of saying piece of documentation, I said the one-word version document. Instead of saying in order to, I said the one-word version to. So you want to look for these sort of extra words and redundancies as well. But the top 3 ways to just prevent them from existing in the first place are lead with who, follow that with a visual verb, and avoid using the verb to be as much as you can. So let me know how it goes in the comments. Try out these strategies, see if your writing feels more clear and concise, and let me know what else you want to learn too. Keep following our channel. I'm going to bring you more writing hacks every week, and if you like what you're learning, please like, follow, and subscribe. Until next time.